Hello. Welcome back to Keeping It Real. I am Jessica Parker. I am a licensed mental health professional, and I decided to do this YouTube channel so that I could possibly help folks who maybe they're in therapy, but they like to do a little research or listen to others that talk about things on their free time, or maybe are not able to go to therapy. And while it's not a personal session per se, I am trying to cover as much as I possibly can of common topics that, have themes that run through most of our lives, right? And we've gone over, or I've gone over, quite a few things so far, but I wanted to talk about fear today because we see a lot of this, and especially in our own country right now, in our communities, and fear is natural, right? I remember I took a workshop about anxiety and rewiring the anxious brain, I think is what it was called. And the person who gave the talk, she was really good and interesting. And she said, we are descendants of the scared people. And that's kind of interesting, right? I mean, you think about like how much do genetics play a part, and certainly to be anxious or afraid is a strategy, right? It's an adaptation because if we are somewhat anxious or fearful, certainly we can say I'm looking for danger. I can see it when it comes, and that's not a bad thing. The thing is that we're sort of wired in a way that's a little more primal, or some people would say that's like part of the leftover of our reptilian brain. And we have to question, like, how well does it serve us? And my thought is that, being that we are humans, and we have the ability to reason, hopefully we do, I think it's important to challenge fear, whether it's fear of others, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, because so much of that really probably holds us back more than it protects us. We don't have to worry about usually the wild animal coming out of nowhere and attacking us, the tiger behind me crouching and stalking me on the path. I wanted to tell a story. I don't always tell stories, but it's funny to me. I think that fear also, before I get to my story, is in part a lack of trust in ourselves and our own gut, right? And what we already know. So we're looking to others sometimes to tell us like what's best. And that's not a bad thing. I think it's good not to be a know-it-all and to collaborate with others, certainly, because we can't be experts at everything. And so we can't know everything we need to know to get our lives right? I mean, there's just no way. And that's okay. But here's my story. So when I have a mini backyard farm, chickens, ducks, quail, button quail, dogs, cat, I mean, you name it, right? But mainly birds. And it started during the pandemic. I have a colleague who calls his COVID chickens, which is about right. And it sort of evolved. And so over time, I've accumulated quite a few and hopefully taken, really good care of them. And it's a lot of fun. It's work, but it's fun. Well, in the meantime, I've had other critters come, and I rescued a brown thrasher and raised her years ago. That was exciting. And she still comes to visit time to time. And then more recently, I had a raccoon show up. And it was a little sticky situation because what I had been told as a new farmer is that raccoons will kill your chickens. They will behead them. They'll eat their heads off and leave them. And there's truth to this, by the way. I think possums are a little worse with it. I don't know, but uh, let me back up. Before I became a backyard farmer, I was certainly, I would say, a naturalist. Studied science and environment, and so I love nature. I'm not going to kill predators, but you don't want them around. You're the person who's supposed to take care of these birds and whatever other animals you have. So my raccoon, she wouldn't go away. And I feel guilty now, but I all I could think about was she could have rabies. People kept saying, what if she has rabies? She could kill your chicken. She could do all these things. But I felt guilty because she got stuck in somebody else's yard and they weren't really being nice to her. So I got her back and set up a feeding station and gave her a name. Okay, so her name's Maybelline. And the reason I'm telling this story is because Maybelline, I can now hand her food and I pet her and she'll come right up to me. And I kind of suspected she had babies. And today I heard them in the ceiling of my deck where she goes to get away from dogs and cats and whatnot. And I was so thrilled. It was just like so exciting to hear the little noises, and I can't wait to see them. But I say this because, yeah, maybe she could have been rabid, or maybe she could have done something to the chickens. But something kept telling me that there was nothing really to worry about, that things happen and, we can prepare as much as possible. But even still, there's just never going to be any guarantee that things are going to be okay. Now, the other side of that coin is there's no guarantee that things are going to be bad. So just as much as we can arrange our minds around like, oh, what if this terrible thing happens? Well, what if something wonderful happens? There's always that chance. And so I really encourage people to think about that, because a lot of times fear holds us back from doing things that excite us, maybe doing things we want to accomplish, because we can't get past that, I call it the what if rabbit hole that we can go down and it goes on forever. But I really try to ask clients and challenge folks to think of things you would do or want to do, and what would it look like if there was no fear? If you could get that out of the way, what would that look like? Would you move? Would you go to school, take a different job, be in a relationship, meet new people, travel? Who knows, right? But I would like to encourage folks to think about it on a level of if fear is the only thing holding us back, then take a look and see, is it worth it? Can you get past that? Courage isn't the absence of fear. It is doing something in the face of fear, despite fear being present. And let's face it, even small things like my new raccoon friend, it's kind of silly and funny, but I was a little scared. I really have been. I told Maybelline, I said, yes, I'm scared of you too, Maybelline. And so we'll just take our time and get to know each other. And now she doesn't run from me, and I don't hand her the food and then jerk back. And it's really been such a cool experience and very rewarding, among other things. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about fear and risk-taking. Now, the other side of that is like risk-taking in the sense of just for excitement purposes, which in and of itself is not a horrible idea. We go to amusement parks, right, to get excited and to be thrilled. And that's okay, but I would say that there's a difference between thrill-seeking and doing things in the face of fear. They could be synonymous, but they don't have to be, right? Some things, maybe we feel afraid because there's a good reason. the point of it is that I would encourage folks to, at the very least, just to observe when you're thinking and feeling this, and really try to challenge it enough just to say, like, is this fear real? Do I have evidence of a good reason why I should be afraid? Is it preventing me from doing something that is good, exciting, fun, not high risk taking necessarily, but taking chances? Is that what this fear is doing? Is it making me angry at people? Is it making me not want to leave my house? Is it making me not trust my neighbors? And again, part of this comes from not trusting oneself. And in order to do that, we have to say, not that bad things can't happen, because they can and they do, but that I can handle whatever comes my way, that I'm ready, that I can trust myself to be able to manage my emotions and deal with whatever comes my way, because I don't have control over everything. And certainly good things happen, bad things happen, and this is life. So yeah, I hope that helps, and stay cool, and see you back here next week. Bye.